What's happening today? We're talking about self-compassion. Get ready.
Yeah. I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumit Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today we're talking all about self-compassion. Oh my goodness, this is such an important thing right now with people leaving these scatterbrained lives, It's really important. So, my father is a Buddhist and he runs these meditation retreats. And my experience with this is generally this one story that he told, which was quite powerful in the retreat. He said that, once a man came into his room like he was working and slapped him in the face, right, and ran out. After a while, he could have sued the guy, could have told him what the hell's going on, right, or whatever. But then he came in moments later crying, and he said, I'm going through this thing, I have this issue, I have a mental disorder, this is what I'm going through, I'm suffering from a lot of anger, and in that moment, I just slapped you, and I'm sorry. Now, in that moment, you gotta have some compassion for this person, because they're like, okay, I get it. You're going through something and you took that pain out on me, So that's a really interesting story, right? And it's important to understand that when we're beating ourselves up in our own internal worlds, right? When we're slapping ourselves in a sense, when we're self-loathing, you gotta recognize something, man. This thing helped you survive. This body, this appearance, this was your survival strategy. This was your defense mechanism, you know what I mean? Like, this saved you so many times in your life. And it was a response to stress or the environment or something else that you decided you wanted to make your body different, right? Why do people go to the gym at the first case? Why do people suddenly start taking their health seriously? Because their health was affected. And so these are all survival strategies. When you understand that, you get a different perspective on this thing. Your eyes helped you see all those beautiful things that you've seen in your life. Your lips and your mouth has helped you taste and consume things, delicious things that you just know that it just hits the taste bud at the right spot, Your hands have helped you mold things and create things and make hand gestures and communicate with people. So many great inventions have just been the product of these. Your heart helped you to have the courage to love yourself, even in those moments where you couldn't love yourself. Your legs, no matter how you think, oh, I've skipped leg day, whatever, oh, you keep making fun of your legs. Guess what? They helped you travel from place to place. Without those legs, you wouldn't be able to move. So let's have some gratitude for our body today, for our mind today, for our spirit today. That compassion becomes fuel. That compassion is that motivation that moves you forward. It's got to come back to that. You see, a lot of us, we chase pleasure over compassion. When you chase pleasure, you're never going to catch it. When you chase compassion, you have that pleasure, but it's more of a mild, long-lasting pleasure rather than a short burst of it here and there. Okay, so compassion over pleasure, that inner space of compassion, like, hey man, you've been through a lot. I understand you. I know what you're going through right now. It's all good. And speaking with your inner critic in such a way that they just melt. That's self-compassion. That's what a lot of people are missing nowadays. You can get into an argument with someone and crush them. That's fine. But when that starts to be you crushing your own self and defeating your own self-esteem, you start cutting off the circulation to your own power. Compassion is that energy where things can emanate from. This is why Buddhists place such an importance on compassion, because it's one of those things that is so in front of our eyes. It's so easy to access, but we don't do it. We never use it enough. There's that scene in The Last Samurai, right? Where he's fighting and he says, too many mind. Too many mind relates to Mushin, okay? The mind of no mind. Now, what are a few ways in which you can understand this too many mind effect? In psychology, there is this belief that there are many different types of mind. Well, Freud already has this three-part theory of the id, the superego, and the ego, right? So we already know there's many mind. You do have too many mind, but the many minds are parts of you, okay? It was the part of you that relapsed. You didn't relapse. It was the part of you that made that mistake. It was a part of you. It wasn't all of you. And then some people do things, take certain behaviors, and they're like, man, that wasn't me. I don't know why I did that. No, it was you. It was a part of you, okay? So you got to understand that all psychology is trying to do is integrate all these parts. Just bring them all together. And isn't that the process of any kind of spiritual practice too? Oneness, wholeness, yoga, right? That's all we're trying to do, is we're just trying to get these parts together. Like Napoleon Hill said, you know, you have this this council in your mind, this conference room where all of these parts of you are meeting, and you are the conductor. I got this exercise from my mentor, AZD, but I want you to try it out today. I want you to imagine your higher self, your best version of you, and make them a mentor. And imagine them sitting beside you in whatever you're doing. I want you to make that version of you watch you as you're living. So live with the mentor, which is your higher self, a whole day, a whole entire day. You have your imaginary friend. It's not imaginary. In this case, we're imagining he's real. So it is imaginary, but he's real. Or she's real, right? So let's live with this mentor through one day. And then notice it's your level of compassion for yourself in those moments. Because you're going to slowly start to change your posture, be more sharp, do things that you never thought you would be doing. It's such an interesting experience. It takes a certain amount of tension to keep that role going, right? Of like having that version of you, the best self, like there constantly in your mind's eye. So you don't have to be obsessed with it. You just have to have this relaxed or soft focus, like they're there. Okay? And just try this out. And try, the next time that you mess something up, try and speak to that part of you. And this is real shadow work. If you want to know more shadow work techniques, you got to get working with me one-on-one, okay? Soul Eater is the program. This is like the Grim Reaper going into the underworld, which is the subconscious mind, coming back with the elixir of life, getting you to have that internal rebirth so you can change the avatar, the character that you're playing, right? You don't really want to hurt yourself. You want to stop playing this character in this video game. You want to be somebody different. You keep looking towards these other people like, oh, they have this and they have that. Why can't I be them? No, you need to first of all focus on you being you and have that self-compassion where you finally lift off from that point forward. You need to have an internal sense of reserve where you're like, hey, man, I've got this. This is all my creation, my reality, my rules. Let's get it today. Upward Spiral Gang, you already know what it is. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, you know, just hit that Dougie, whatever you want to do, man. Hit it. Let's go.